Jolan True, and welcome to another exciting day in our galaxy, and welcome to another episode of our little A to Z officer series. You know that at the moment, in the morning and in the evening, in seen from Europe, you get officer videos. That's because there are still so many officers left in here, and we all know that next week, when the new arc comes in, I will have to do a lot of videos on all the new stuff, and we'll have to interrupt this series again, so that I decided that I will do some more of those officer videos in the meantime. But before we talk about the next epic officer, I just want to say, if you're not a subscriber of my channel yet but do like my videos, then please do subscribe to my channel. And when you do, also click this little bell and all notifications so you will be notified when another video comes out. And today we will talk about Shaxs. He is nowadays quite an important officer for me. It wasn't so clear in the beginning when they introduced the second time of lower decks officers where this would lead, but you will see in a second that it led to a very important change. He is from the group Class Engineering, which means he needs engineering badges to upgrade him. There is no class security here with security badges, otherwise that would be where we would expect him to see. He's from the group Battleship Strike Team. That's an interesting one. He can give synergy to a captain of that group if he's on the bridge with them, and that's where I use him, and also for the synergy part. But the group for the other two officers that are involved there was even changed in some cases when all the lower decks guys were in there. You've seen that with the Dukat crew, for example. It's not Deep Space Nine anymore. They're now the Interceptor Strike Team, and there were a lot of changes when they came in. But he's also from the Faction Federation, which means you need Federation faction credits to upgrade him. And if you haven't seen the series Lower Decks yet, then there's quite a long text in here about Shaxs. That's always the thing. For every officer, you will find a text in the info box here. But usually those that you know from series or the movies, or you're supposed to know, they have the quite the long text. And so if you haven't seen Lower Decks yet, I suggest you read that for once. As you could already hear, he does not have a captain maneuver and just says Chief of Security, so not the captain. But he does have an officer ability, that's the one I'm using a lot, and a below deck ability. And the officer ability is special delivery. On round start, if on a battleship and enemy player has burning, Shaxs increases your isolated cascade damage by 60% for one round. You know, isolated cascade now, there are a few more officers that do that, and 60% is quite a help. But you already can see two prerequisites here. It's only working against players, so he is part of one of the PvP crews. It only works if the other player is burning, so you need another officer who does that. And it only works on a battleship. And we already saw this in the name of the group with the Battleship Strike Team. But Shaxs is part of my main battleship PvP crew. And he's not working on another ship, so of course that makes sense. But he's an important part, because before the second time the lower decks officers came in, there were the Deep Space Nine crews and the Strike Team crews, with the Veyun crew for explorers, the Dukat crew for interceptors, and the Strike Team crew with the Strike Team La'an for battleships, with pure crews of that kind. Pure Strike Team, pure Cardassians, pure Dominion. And then they changed it around when these officers came in, and now you need Shaxs in the Strike Team crew to make it really effective. And that is why I said I'm usually using him on the bridge. The others bring the burning, that's not the problem. And if you put him on a battleship with the others from that crew, it's working. I've made a PvP crew video already. It doesn't have the mirror people in there yet, but otherwise you can see all those crews, even the battleship crew. But that's also the reason why I usually don't use his below deck ability. Your path is weak. On round start, if on an explorer with morale, Shaxs increases your isolated defense by 40% for 1 round against players. So he's got 2 PvP abilities, and I would, of course, use this below deck on my explorer with a Viyun crew if I wouldn't need him on my battleship on the bridge. Because that is the nice thing about Shaxs, about Ransom, and about Billups. They are all part of the bridge crews now, but they all also have an ability for another ship class that you can use below deck. If I wouldn't have a good battleship, but a very good explorer, I also might choose to put Shaxs below deck on where I have my Viyun crew on this very good explorer, instead of using him on a weak battleship. But at the moment, I do have good battleships, good interceptors, so I'm using all those separate bridge crews. But it would be an option to put him below deck if I wouldn't have one of those. And we will see how I change them around a bit when I get my first epic 5-star ship. But at the moment, I will use them for that. So both of his abilities are very, very helpful in PvP. And that's why it's really nice to have him. And there comes the bad news soon. But of course, as an epic officer, he does have 3 traits for away team assignments that you can unlock. That's security, ruthless, and relentless. As you can see, I haven't unlocked anything because he definitely is part of my main PvP crews, and he will stay that for a bit. And so I will not send him out to away team assignments. And now we come to the bad news, at least when I'm filming this video, about getting him. Your only chance about getting Shaxs at the moment that I know of is waiting for events. So if it is a battle pass where he sometimes shows up, or some other events that include officer shards, you have to look out for somewhere Shaxs is in. He pops up from time to time, but he's not in any regular recruiting when I'm filming this. I haven't found any way of recruiting him regularly anywhere, just via events. And from time to time I do get shards for Shaxs, but not too much. Maybe when a special event comes after the end of the arc, you have another chance of getting Shaxs shards, but you will not have some regular ways at the moment when I'm filming this to get the shards regularly. That's the bad news, but keep an eye out in events and special events, especially if you have a strong battleship, then you will want to have Shaxs. The other 2 of his crew, the strike team people you get from faction stores, but not Shaxs. But I would definitely like to read some of your opinions, how you are using him. Are you using him for your battleship on the bridge, or are you using him with Viyun on your explorer? That would be quite interesting to see how people are using that. And if you have questions in general or video requests, you know that I regularly read your comments. And if you want to see another video right now, the next one is right here in the end screen. I'll see you there. I'll be back.